Morning folks. I had a very strange telephone conversation yesterday. The best way to describe it is the conversation kind of went, I wanted to talk about trees and the other person just wanted to talk about the leaves. In saying that, it was a conversation with somebody within the industry, and when I'm sending out information about GNAR bike park to people in the industry, I do call it a progressive MTB training facility. And the reason that I call it that is because it's people within the industry like to have a concise piece of information about it to try and give them some idea of what's going on. And I was trying to explain that essentially it's just about having a mess around in the woods on your bike, and it was almost as if he wasn't having it. He said it was like there's some other angle that he was fishing for or trying to get at. And while a lot of the things that he spoke about were very true, he talked about the differences in facilities owned by and run by the Forestry Commission, and he talked about the fact that most people are running kind of between 140 and 160 mil bikes now, and he talked about a lot of different things, but there is no other way really of looking at it than the whole idea is just to have a laugh with your mates in the woods. I kept trying to steer him back and trying to focus on that point, but apparently to him it was far more complicated than that, and I don't know, I just don't feel that way. I suppose, throw it out to you guys, why do you put the bike on the roof or in the back of the car or on the rack and go out on a weekend? Is it because of the technology? Is that what drives you to do it? Is it because of the fact that he even talked about fitting in with, like, friends started riding, so I started riding as well to stay in with that group of friends and things. Is that why you do it? I mean, they're all quite possibly factors, and they all probably figure into at some point to the reasons why we do it. I just couldn't get my head around this. It was an awkward conversation because I probably sounded like I just repeated a very simplistic thing over and over again, and maybe to somebody within the industry, maybe I oversimplified the thing. But anyway, look, the score is you get to have all these kind of conversations. They're a bit kind of, I don't know. The industry they're very much heavily involved with the technology side of things, and their whole business is to provide something to ride on. And I suppose I'm coming from a place of somewhere to ride at. So, I mean, there shouldn't really be any clashes or differences in opinion, but I think they had a hard time understanding me. Strange. Anyway, it's another shocker of a morning, but I've been looking at one of the farming websites that have got a good weather report on it, one of the best weather reports on it actually, and on there it says that come 10 o'clock everything should dry up a bit, so we'll see. The farmer's weather report was right. It's now 10:05-ish, 10 past, and the weather's calmed down loads, so we'll get back over to where we've been felling and get ready for these machines to come in. It's by no means not windy at all, but it's a heck of a lot better, like a lot better. Just grab the saw, sorry. Oh, I got you caught on a branch. Sorry about that. So yeah, we'll make our way over. The good news is, having checked around, we've not struggled with any trees getting blown over, which, you know, to be fair, it's something that I was kind of expecting. At this time of day in the car park, I really like this. I'll try and show it up a little bit, but you can see that where the sun comes through, it just looks really nice. Shows the colours up really well. It's all like a really sort of coppery colour in here from all the pine needles that have dropped and turned brown. Anyway, this isn't a nature walk. Let's get over to where we're working. Right, I made it to the top. This is apparently the singular sunny part of the day. I don't know if you can see, but out the back here we've got the Pennines. Probably showed you this before. So the push-up track now is literally, it is one run down with the mini digger, and that is it. Cleared out all the logs. It's just kind of like moving the bucket out in front of me and clearing the logs out of the way, and that's it done. So this top part, I'm thinking have a bit of a tidy up and a clear out in what is almost a bit of a clearing. I'll just change hands. So kind of in this area in here, which when I get that old log moved down there, that'll fallen tree, that'll be the where you come up and the push up. And there's this area right next door to elementary, and I'm thinking about putting some benches and stuff in here and a bin, so that it's somewhere. It's quite a nice. I'll tip you up a bit. You can see it's got a clear canopy. It's quite a nice place to stop for a bite to eat. In future, when funds get a bit better, then I think some sort of a shelter up here as well, because it has got a clear canopy. So when it rains, it is going to get rained on. But so it'd be nice to have somewhere to have lunch out of the rain. Anyway, so that's the idea for this bit. Up on the top of here, the rest of the work to do is to get you all the way up to where the start to get to the chopper is, which isn't very far up there, and then just a little bit beyond, which is where the start of what was going to be called GDH1 is. So I have a plan for cutting through there to make sure that that's an easy run through. What I do need to refresh myself with, especially prior to bringing the digger in, is with the setting off from the car park coming up this way, which I've already had my digger up a couple of times before, and I've already done some cutting in here. I'll just turn you around so that you can see. You might be able to see that there's already been some felling work done in here to kind of clear it through. But a bit of a refresher walk down here wouldn't go amiss. So I'll just spin you around this way. Actually, you can see just before the summer last year, I'd cleared a bit of this out. Just need to double check that I have actually got everything while I've got the saw in my hand. You can see here there's two. These two mark the entrance to Magic Bus, which is it's what you class as a chilled track, but man, it's a good laugh. I know it's big jumps and everything is always loads of fun, but just that as a natural track is a right laugh. So you can see around here there's been a pathway through before, and I've cut up this way. There's just got things like this, like stumps and things need to be cleared out of the way, and get the digger with the big bucket through to do that. This one here, this the corridor down there, that's one that I had planned as like the most chilled track. It stays relatively flat until just a few meters down there, and it starts to bank over quite gently. It's nothing serious. Last night I was thinking about that one, and I was thinking about, like, for the likes, I have a daughter who's 10, and she was wanting to get into biking, and I'm thinking that mixed with Magic Bus would be really good for her. So oh, it's good to refresh the memory. I've been working up there so much recently that you kind of, you know, we're 46 acres. It's a big place, and you kind of sometimes forget. But from the looks of things, most of the saw, some branches to come off to make life a little easier. I can do that today. But most of this seems to have been sorted. You might be able to see like a light brown track where I've come through before with my little digger, just to, as I was kind of deciding on where the pathway should go. And it's all looking tickety-boo. Where did this, it's sent round here. Okay. So it should get us back towards, yeah, and you can see down this way as well. I just pointed down there. You can see it looks old now because it's from a few months ago, but I'd already started to cut down into here, and I cut a couple of trees that had fallen. This is actually the route if all the European funding comes through and everything. The main idea behind a lot of these cuts was to clear a bit of road room for the push-up track. Not the push-up track, talking rubbish, for what's going to be the uplift. Oh, I've got a fallen tree here. Okay, so this is new. You see diagonally across the trail there. Let's just go and investigate what's happened to the roots. I can see like a ball up here. Right, this might be a bit of a pig to climb us through, so we'll go through this way. Ah, there we go. There's our issue. That has just lost all of its grip and gone down. Well, do you know what? There's not a lot can be done about that. Every now and again we're going to get this situation. Well, I'm here today with the saw. I can get it cut up and get it dropped and moved out of the way, so let's crack on with that. The danger with trees that are semi-fallen is like this one. You can see how it's had a lot of leverage pressure on it, and the root doesn't want to move, and they can split. So you can get cut part of the way through it and they'll just split under the pressure. Now they split with quite a kick, and I'll be honest with you, it's probably my least favourite part of felling ones like these, because it's just a bit of a pig. You've got a chainsaw in your hand and there's a big old kick and you stood right next to it. And anyway, so what I've done is I've dropped it. I dropped the one it was leaning onto, dropped it, and I don't know if you can see here, but I've put a cut in it. I've also chopped up this one as well. So I'll just point it around there. So bearing in mind that I'm going to be coming up this way with the digger anyway, it doesn't seem to make much sense to just use my arms to try and get all this stuff moved out of the way when I'm going to be bringing a big bucket up here. So for now we'll call that okay, leave it here and just move it with the bucket and just pop it over to one side. Like I say, all of this wood's going to get reused. It's probably going to get chopped up into smaller things. This is quite a thick one, this one, so this is probably going to make some benches, maybe even some picnic table type things as well, somewhere to eat lunch. So we'll get just need them moved over for now, and we can get to do some joinery and woodworking later on down the line once we're open. So this is good for this part. I'm glad it's down. You know, these surprises happen all the time. Find out that I haven't been in this area for a few weeks. Well, not quite a few weeks, but I haven't been down here recently. Find out that the storms have blown stuff over, so you just got to deal with it. Anyway, let's. I've had a check down towards the car park there. Everything looks tickety-boo for that. So let's make our way back up. I'm just at the top of Beggars Canyon here, just trying to suss out what's going to be the way into it that's going to allow you to hold the most speed, because therefore that denotes what I do with the cuts. And I apologise if you're eating or you've just eaten, and this is fair warning, but I thought I'd show you this anyway because it's just part of the natural what goes on here. But this is what used to be a Fox, ex Fox. It's dead. So at the top here, I think the idea is to cut a way in so that you can drop in using the most slope possible, because as you actually get down into there where it brows over, that's where one of the big jumps is going to get put in, a big gap jump. So I want to make sure that even from up at the very start up here that there's been plenty of opportunity to build some speed, because if we're doing dirt to dirt gap, if I'm going to be able to get any like decent size in, you want to be hitting it at like Mach 10. Just, you know, at least make sure that you can get over it, and then I can suss out the landing and the actual jump from there once I can get a couple of runs in and I know how fast you're entering into that section. So therefore that makes getting this part right. It's, you know, this is kind of, and I'm sure you guys already know this is kind of what it's all about. You have to plan like 5 steps ahead of yourself, make sure that you're doing the right thing to allow the next thing to happen. So I'm thinking this really sort of raggedy, semi-rotten thing, that's going to have to come out and allow a cut down in and to go. So we'll go and grab the saw and get on with that. Well folks, that's the end of the vlog today. It's going to be dark in about 30-40 minutes or so. I've come to a bit of a decision today about what to do about Beggars Canyon. I was looking at whether I should actually do the cuts before the machine comes, to see if I can get the machine down it, and yeah, I think I should. I don't think I can get it open for opening weekend, but I think I can get it open for the spring, beginning of the summer. So it's definitely worth making those cuts to you know, to get it ready and at least get a machine down it and make life a little bit easier. So that's tomorrow's job. I've managed to get up with the track, the push-up track that cleared out. That just needs an excavator through it now, and yeah, we'll get into Beggars Canyon and get that sorted and get it ready, and at least it can be in a ready state for we'll launch, we'll open, and then in between times I can get on that and get that built. So because I'm looking forward to riding that one. Anyway, I better finish off what I'm doing, because it's going to get dark quickly, and thanks very much for your time, and I'll see you soon.